John Massara has had quite a bit to do with breed shaping stallions, and now there's a new generation set to take up the mantle. Arrowfield Studs, the Autumn Sun, has all the credentials for great success as a stallion, and here we learn more about why he was retired this season rather than racing on.
Sun's really surging, the outside, yes! Oh, what a super win!
This horse, the Autumn Sun.
John, it must make you enormously proud, what you've built here at Arrowfield Stud, to have so many people coming this weekend, particularly to see your new stallion, the Autumn Sun, but to see all the boys and the farm. I mean, you've made an absolute showpiece of a property.
Oh, well, it's taken a while to get to this point, but we're very proud of what we have here. It's been a team, and the teams work closely together over the years, and here we are with a great stallion in the Autumn Sun. I truly believe he'll end up being the replacement for Redute's Choice.
Well, it is a dynasty, isn't it? I mean, your involvement with Dane Hill, you know, his champion son, of course, the late Redute's Choice, through to Snitzel, now a triple champion Australian sire. And this fella behind us, the Autumn Sun, continues that legacy. I mean, it is something that you know, as you say, you've built over generations, but there are now more generations to come.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the proven sire line in this country. And to some extent, we've been victims of our own success, because 1 in 2 horses in training have Dane Hill in the first 3 removes or thereabouts. So one's looking for outcrosses, but you can't have too much of a good thing. So we've got a number of Dane Hill line horses here, and we're very proud to have developed that line. I think we're probably the one stud in the world that has developed that Dane Hill line. We've had Redute's a champion 3 times, we've had Flying Spur champion once, now we've got Snitzel champion 3 times, all out of that one sire line. We're very proud of it.
Oh, and plenty to be proud of. And this fellow himself, I mean, he was a $700,000 yearling, bred here, sold by Arrowfield Stud and Katsumi Yoshida. And of course, you know, he's always been, you know, a fabulous individual for anyone to pay $700,000 for a horse. He was an out-and-out superstar from the beginning.
Lovely moving horse, refined type of Redute's, very good looking, with a lot of presence. And from the moment we sold him, I approached the buyers through Chris Waller to see if we could buy back, but yes, we couldn't. But in the end, when he decided that he would take a partner for 50%, we made a big play, along with a lot of other farms in Australia. I think there were 8 bidders for him. But happily, I think the Hermitage people thought that this is probably the right home for him after all. His grandfather, his great-grandfather, his father, we'd had the lot here. They acceded to coming here, and I'm so pleased, because this is his home. This is the right place for him to be for the next part of his career.
With the Autumn Sun looking to close in.
He was a good 2-year-old, but and he was a fast horse. He ran 1:8.6 at Randwick, I think, for the 1200. That was a class record. And then subsequently ran 1:22 and change for the Golden Rose. So he's a horse that can clip out some very, very good times. And then we were able to stretch all that out to 2,000 metres in the Rosehill Guineas on a wet track. I thought that was a very meritorious run. It showed a lot of internal fortitude and courage. He's got all those various perspectives to him. He's good looking, he's got a fantastic pedigree by a sire maker, the great sire maker of this country, out of a mare by the greatest sire probably in the rest of the world, Galileo, from a great family, and an unbelievable performer on the track. I mean, he's got everything. Everything you dream of he's got. And Happily, a lot of breeders take the same view because he's got a lovely full book, year one, and people are already lining up for year two, and people are buying mares to send to him, mares that might suit him. So there's that sort of confidence out there, which we're sharing with people. It's a great thing.
The Autumn Sun and Zoo saying...
The fact is, those colts don't get much time off. They go for a kind of a 5 or 6 week break, but it ends up being 3 weeks plus a little bit of work, then commencing again, perhaps on the treadmill, perhaps in the pool. And what happens out of it is they don't really get a big chance to stop exercising and to allow themselves to grow and develop. The old expert of all time, Dr. Percy Sykes, used to say, a horse can't grow when he's exercising. If you see him wanting to grow, leave him alone. We've left this whole horse alone for the last 2 months, and he's exploded physically. He's thickened out, he's developed over the hind quarter.
But the Autumn Sun goes to the lead.
The Caulfield Guineas, so many Sydney colts really struggle with that tight circuit there at Caulfield, and he was just dominant. The Randwick Guineas, the Rosehill Guineas, you know, as you said, stretching out to 2,000 metres, and we saw those amazing come from behind wins, but also to tough it out, he was really challenged in that race over 2,000 metres on what was effectively a heavy track, and he just showed so much grit and determination, as well as those flashing finishes in the other Group 1s.
Had Redout's Choice not passed away, I guess he'd still be racing today. But there are a bunch of mares that were going to Redout's. Our partner in the horse said, where are those mares going to go? And I said, well, I don't know, they'll be going to Snetzel and other horses. Would some of them go to the Autumn Sun? I said, of course, some would go to the Autumn Sun. He said, well, we should retire him. And I said, okay, I'll go along with that. I had an open mind. Looking at him today, I'm wondering whether I've made the right decision. He looks magnificent. But look, we need to get him going. The other proven horses in our camp, 2 of them are becoming elderly. They're not 20, but they're 16, 17. And so we need to develop another top liner, and he's the one. The insurance on a, say, $40 million colt is a lot of money. It's probably as much money as he's likely to win on a net basis from the racetrack. Yeah. But then there are risks as well of getting hurt, etc. I took a bit of a sample of those very valuable horses that have been retired to stud in the last decade. And on average, they ran about 9 races. And funnily enough, this horse ran 9 races. I didn't feel so guilty after seeing that. The horse is there to prove what he had, and I think he certainly satisfied me with what he showed. The speed, the stamina, he had the lot. I didn't feel there was any need to prove much more about him, you know. Of course, we all love racing, and it would have been great, but the loss of Redout's, you know, did make a difference to our decision here.
And you have obviously a lovely human family, lovely kids and grandkids, etc. But you can see the pride you have in this horse. It is almost like having another member of the family. Well, it is another member of the family, isn't it?
Absolutely. Raised here. His father has been here for a lifetime for us, you know, Redout's. And then we brought his grandfather out from England at the time. We've been involved with this whole lineage now for a long time, since 1989. It's a pretty long time. To produce an animal like this with the Aga Khan makes that entire venture so fulfilling for us. Some of these ventures take a long time to bear fruit, but it only takes one horse to really change your life, and this is the one.